listening to AchieveRadio.com. A new drummer for a new awakening.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie, and thank you for joining me today. We had a little bit of a coffee experience here with it falling just as showtime, so I want
Oh,
to apologize for a late start. The one of those times when the plug fell out and everything went all to kapooey, but at least I'm alive, not and very unlike the show's topic today, which is, do animals have consciousness? And Joseph, are you there?
yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so sorry about the late start on the show today.
Oh, that's okay.
And Mr. Bill, if you could give us some video on that little corner thing, I would sure appreciate it if it's still possible. And thank you very much. Joseph, what have you been doing?
Oh, well, not much. I mean, I've been kind of I've been doing a lot of writing and also kind of balancing
Oh,
my
wonderful.
creative. I've been balancing my creativity with domestic chores, and the two dogs are a bit much sometimes.
Oh, you have two dogs now.
Yeah, well, one of them came to us who she's an old black lab, about 13 or 14 years old. And her previous owner was a man who died, and she ended up in a kennel. And of someone who knew the person who died, actually. So she was at home in the kennel at home of this person who owned a pet store and dog food store and stuff. So she didn't have, I mean, much of a life at that point, So we brought her home, and she has
Bless your
changed.
hearts.
She has changed. She is brighter. Her fur is luminous.
Oh,
Her
awesome.
arthritis is better. She greets me. Actually, both dogs greet me every morning. They each come in and for their good morning and face rub, and then they walk away. You know, but
Then they walk away?
well, yeah, because they know that I have to eat and make my coffee and my breakfast, and so they come in
Oh,
and they say
wow, how
hello, and then they
fortunate
walk
you
away.
are.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people that without meaning to, and I really follow the instructions of that Hispanic dog trainer. What is his name? He does
oh, this the
he's like the
the dog
dog
whisperer,
whisperer.
is it? Yes.
Yes, and I'm very conscious, excuse me, itchy nose, of trying to walk my dogs with them beside me and
I
not
try that.
allowing and not allowing them to think that they're the boss.
Hmm.
And I try very hard to and of course these are huge dogs. So I'm always ending up with people saying, "Who's walking who, Annie?" And I just want to punch them when that happens. But on the other hand, we, like you, took on a Labrador, a golden lab, when
Uh-huh.
her master died of cancer.
Oh.
And we took her in, and she was always the big, kind of needy one of the bunch.
Hmm.
And for whatever reason, it seemed as if it created some desperateness in her.
Oh.
So she always has, and Labradors anyway have that sad, sad look in their eyes.
Hmm.
So in the morning time, I've spoiled them rotten. I get up in a bound and I go, "Hello, dogs!" And then we go outside and I chop up a hot dog, and then we have hot dogs, and
Oh.
then I don't, but they get. I figured, I am done with going to the Walmart store and buying a bag of um, treats that are telling you there's a lot of animal product in here. And I thought, honey, I can make a
Oh yeah.
cheap thing of hot dogs for a
Sure.
dollar 55 of turkey that's good for them and it's cooked, and they love that, and I don't have to worry about whether it's been made somewhere where they have plastic in it
I
you
make
know
aside from buying boxes of milk bone here and there for their teeth, It also kind of saves me some work, but I kind of trust that brand. It's made in the USA, but we don't give them too much of that. But I do make homemade dog treats that Bugsy and
Oh, you
both dogs
do?
actually love these things. They're peanut butter and oatmeal, and it's whole wheat flour and water. And you
Now, what is it
just,
again? How do you make it?
it's a 1 cup of oatmeal, two
Uh-huh.
cups of whole wheat flour. Stone
Uh-huh.
ground is better. Get organic; it's better for them too.
Uh-huh.
And you add a third cup of crunchy peanut butter, and then you mix it up, and then dry, and in your blender, your mixer, your mix master, whatever, and
Yeah.
then you add 1 1/4 cup of hot water. And then you mix it up so it's a dough, and you shape it into little bones or whatever. You could roll it out and use cookie cutters, but you bake it in the oven at 350 for like 40 minutes because it has to get really, really hard. And the harder they are and the crunchier they are, the more the dogs like them. Plus, there's bits of peanut in there, and they love peanuts. And peanut butter, as far as most dogs love peanut butter, and
Oh,
it's good.
yeah.
So, but actually, very often for a treat or a snack, I give them a little chunk of the meat I've been working on that I've been, that was cooked, because they've been smelling it all day. And I figure, well, here you go. And then they walk away. They're happy and they walk away. So, plus I also supplement their dog food. We try to buy high quality dog food,
What
but
kind
I
do you
also
get?
make
What kind
dog
what kind
food.
do you get? What
I
kind of
buy IAMS.
IMS? Okay. I get
Uh,
Purina uh chicken and rice one. And that is
yep,
supposed to be without the chemicals and things like
right.
that, but, and I like
IAMS
Purina.
IAMS is good. Purina we had a little trouble with, but it depends on your dog. Now Bugsy he tends to get a sensitive stomach sometimes, so we supplement his dog food with homemade. It's this way it's moist, it's wet, and it's fresh, and it's made usually with chicken. I
Okay.
chop up a chicken and I cook up a rice. I use brown rice. I buy the parboiled because it saves me some time. Parboiled rather. It takes like only 25 minutes to boil, and then I mix it all up. I mix up a few canisters of it. They get a cup each evening with their other food, and they love it. I mean, they're actually excited about dinner time. But it's protein and it's natural, and it's gives them a little bit of wet in their diet. You
So
know.
you don't believe in the bottomless bowl thing?
Well, we do for the dry dog food. I find that food is never an issue if you always keep the bowl full or frequently keep it full as you can. We let it get empty sometimes, but Bugsy doesn't overeat, and neither dog will overeat. They only eat at certain times of the day, and I didn't train them to do that, but usually they might have something, they might crunch on it a little bit during the day, but they tend to all of a sudden get really hungry like around 5 or 6.
Right.
So sometimes they'll ignore the bowl of dry dog food, coasting on the stuff I'm giving them that's homemade because it's so much better. But
Mhm.
but then we just say, well, it's not going to get. We're not going to give them more than this. This is the serving for this particular food. The rest, I don't care how much you eat. And actually, because of this, Bugsy has developed this tendency to be very hospitable to visiting dogs, especially those that he likes. The first thing he does is lets them eat out of his bowl, and that's what they
Oh,
do when he
wow.
visits. When he visits his friends, because he has a little friend that we visit. She's another
Uh-huh.
lab. She then lets him eat out of her bowl, and when she comes over, he'll sit and watch her eat out of his bowl. It's like, come eat something, and they're very. It's like this. There's this hospitable
Aw.
social thing going on, and actually now Abby, because she's older, she has special food. Um, she has the geriatric dog food, in her
Uh-huh.
dry dish. So
Uh-huh.
as a show that they're getting along, they will allow each other to eat out of each other's bowls. The trouble is that her food doesn't agree with him. So
Oh.
we don't allow it. And actually, all you have to do is tell him. I mean, they're smart dogs. You say, don't eat out of her bowl, and that's it, he leaves. And he obeys every single time. 60 times a day.
Wow. Wow.
But you do have to tell him. But he does. Yeah, he minds. But they're very healthy. And see, um, Abby, I can tell when I took her out for a walk, she's really good on the leash, and she obviously had some training before, and it does show that she is a very good companion, and I know that she was also a very good companion to her last owner. That was, she was probably born like in 2002, So, I mean, and now she's an old lady, and she found herself without a home late in her life, so
It
she
happens
has a
to a
nice.
lot of old ladies, I think.
Well, now she has a nice household because there's more than one of us living here, and there's another dog here. And she accepts Bugsy because his smell is all over the house, and it is obvious that this is his place. But she
Joseph,
does
did
not.
you did
She
you
does
see
not
the
like other dogs. She doesn't like other dogs. So, but she
I wanted
accepts him.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the some of the things today that I felt would be a good thing to talk about,
Okay.
especially in reference to the death of the silverback gorilla, Harambe. I think that's his name. And
Wasn't he? Wasn't this gorilla possibly? Wasn't it murder or something, or was it killed? Was it killed?
well, the little boy. You did you see the video?
No.
There was a little boy that got away from his parents, and that there's a lot of national, actually more than it's more worldwide uh, rage over these parents that somehow had a 3-year-old child that got away from them. They must have been having a conversation or something, and this 3-year-old child got through all the barriers of the gorilla pen and dropped 10 foot down. He said, "Mommy, I want to go in the water." And evidently
Oh,
somebody in a video said they heard the mother say, "No, you can't go in the water." But I think they had several children they were watching that day. But anyway, this rambunctious 3-year-old climbed through all of the security barriers, dropped down 10 foot into the gorilla pen, and this 450-pound silverback gorilla ended up cornering him and dragging him around by his leg and his arm. Some people were saying that he looked like he was protecting the child, but then when he's running around with the child with one arm or one leg through the water, there were experts that say they do that to their enemies too. So
yeah.
they shot the gorilla because they were fearful that they said one hand, one of these 450-pound silverbacks can crush a coconut without even flinching. So they were fearful of what that could happen to the child. Anyway, it seemed as if everybody is just outraged because this was a rare gorilla. It was only there, I think it came in 2 years ago. It was absolutely stunningly beautiful animal. Or primate. I don't know what is a primate's an animal, yes. But the main thing is that I think what is odd is that perhaps we've become so enraged about animals and abuse that it's even getting more hits on the internet and more money on the internet in donations than actually people that are slaughtered in war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People
Well,
are
did you know
responding.
why the sympathy always goes to the animals? I mean, you could be, do you ever notice that when you hear news of a car accident or someone getting killed and they go, and the dog too, then it's like, oh no. Uh, I think it's
Not the
because, well, I
dog.
think it's because animals are innocent. They're not, they didn't create this. mess that we live in. Nature, they do what they do as nature designed them to do, and they're always going to try to survive and feed themselves and raise their young or whatever. That's what they do, and they also defend their territory. They're not evil, they're not bad. If they eat you, well, you're food, and you're where you shouldn't be. You stay away from them, Uh,
Right.
there are some wild animals that are not going to bother you. It's not, like I like deer, and I don't mind being around deer because they're not going to like go and eat me. you know, they're
Well,
more interested in the lawn than they were in me, and they're not going to bother me unless I'm bothering their children. Um, but these are wild animals, and that's why though we are really the caretakers, and we're the ones that should be looking out for their well-being. Either that or just leave them alone, because they're going to be fine without us. They don't need us to exist. I mean, we're the ones that keep creating the world that makes that squeezing out their living space. So I think
I
that's
think.
why,
Do you
because
think that?
people can make choices. Animals have more of a simplified existence, and so therefore really they're all innocent, really. I mean,
Do
even
you?
the shark and Jaws, they just they're feeding. That's what they do. You stay away from them. And how I see the situation is, yes, it is terrible that we've lost this rare it's um, animal. However, we had to say the life of the child had to be saved, and they had to do what they had to do before that animal accidentally or deliberately killed that child, because they are unpredictable, and like you said, the hands alone are powerful enough, in a moment. So they had to do what they did. And I will say something, you know, you, I don't want to criticize the parents either, frankly, because kids, how they move the fastest when they're heading someplace they're not supposed to go, or
Oh yeah.
or to a hazard. That is the time when all of a sudden they're not there, and they're like blocks away. And it's like, how did I hit a time warp or what? But
Mm.
that's what my mom always. I mean, anybody that has a lot of them, like my mother had 8,
Oh,
and there's 8. I have 7 siblings. I have 3
I didn't
sisters
know
and
that,
4
Joseph.
brothers. I'm the youngest, yeah. And
Oh, the youngest
she
of
said she
8.
was she was they always did the head count. They always, and we were always well behaved. I mean, we were not like the adventure kids that were we were fairly well behaved and fairly well managed. But she said we were at a picnic, and my older brother, he was quite small, a toddler, and he was right beside her when she was setting the picnic table. He was right there, and all of a sudden she sees this security guard walking over to her carrying a child and up in his arms, and the kid's got his face buried in the guy's head, and my mom didn't get a good look at the kid. And he goes, "Is this your child?" She says, "Oh no, he's right here." And she turns, it was him. He had gotten like all the way on the other side of the park, and how many minutes? And it's like, and my brother was not somebody that was a fast mover ordinarily, so you kind of, and they say, "Weren't you watching them?" It's like, well, yeah, I was. I can't imagine. I don't know. I'm not a parent. I never have been, but I do know that when I have the dogs out, I have to keep an eye on them. We don't have a fence. They're
Right.
expensive. You're lucky if you get a house with property with the fence already there, but it is something that is, it would be preferred, yeah. But in the
You know,
meantime,
you know,
we had to train them to stay. We had to train them, because you really do have to watch your pets, because we live in town. We don't have that luxury of the acres and acres. We do have a highway that's not far from here, so you do have to watch that, even though it is the country.
would you say, Joseph, though, that the bond between humans and animals has grown significantly since the biblical verse that man is the dominion of all animals in air, land, and sea?
I'd
Um,
say they're probably more aware of us because we've
but
made ourselves so.
What about the human interaction with animals? I mean, okay, first of all, I'm going to say this. I believe that when you are fortunate to live in a country where you're well fed,
Yes.
And you're fortunate enough to live in a civilized village where the
Yes.
environment is tame and you don't have to worry about being eaten.
Yeah,
It's
I got
far
two of those
easier
going
to,
for me.
it's far easier to be
Yeah.
compassionate about animals than
Sure.
think of them as a food source or whether they're
Hmm.
going to eat you. Um, and I do feel that we are protectors of the earth, like you said, and Native Americans have always felt that way.
Well, we're the
And
smartest. We have the most complex brains, and we can do the most with our bodies to change our environments on a larger scale than a lot of animal. I mean, you see what beavers can do to a dam, but
yes,
people, we got the fingers, the dexterity, and we have the imagination, and we're a lot more complex, and which makes us a lot crazier than it also makes us prone to being crazy. But one of the things
well,
that
and
animals
I
can't
also
do.
think I also
Yep.
think that perhaps the biggest thing between animals and humans is humans have a conscious, not
Well, yeah,
consciousness, because
yeah.
at one time people thought that animals weren't even conscious that they were alive.
Yeah, and
And
through
since and
studies, I'd say you're right, because now we have people that actually go out there and study with the camera, and we do have cameras placed where we had wonderful high-tech cameras that allow us to track and watch the animals live, and we see how they show love in their families, with their children, and with their offspring. And then we've even seen odd pairings of animals from two different species becoming friends and helping each other. I saw
yes,
one video that this goat would lead this blind horse to water each and every day. It would wait
yes,
for the
how
horse. I mean,
wonderful.
then there's the dog that was friends. There was this collie, I think, that was friends with this little fawn.
Hmm.
And when the fawn came back as an adult, she brought her offspring with her to visit the dog years later, no, a year or so later.
Oh,
And it's like, this is really, or you see these odd videos of a dog and a pet bird playing with each other, you know? Uh,
how about an octopus climbing out of his aquarium and consciously making the effort to escape and strategize how to get back into the water? This is what it
yeah.
says. It says the Cambridge Declaration of Consciousness states. This
Hmm.
says we declare the following: the absence of a neocortex does not appear to preclude an organism from experiencing affective states. Convergent evidence indicates that non-human animals have the anatomical and neurochemical and neuropsychological substrates conscious states, along with the capacity to exhibit intentional behaviors, just like you
Hmm.
said. So, consequently, the weight of evidence indicates that humans are not unique in possessing
Right.
neurological consciousness, and non human animals, including all mammals,
Hmm.
are still have the ability to and include includes octopus,
Yeah,
mammals,
sure,
and
certainly.
birds.
Well, our
And
egos are so big. We
oh
just
gosh,
never, you know,
no, no, it can't be. Tell me
Yeah, it
no.
can't be. But even what amazes me is that these, like, say, for instance, dog experts, they have a lot of dogs, and they train a lot of dogs, and they know them really well, but they always say stuff like, oh, they don't really experience, like, love, really, for you. I mean, but so, like, you can't really, gee, have you ever actually focused in maybe on one or two dogs rather than a group? Because actually, I watch these dogs a lot because they entertain me. It's very interesting to watch how they play. Bugsy seems to have certain games he likes, and he's not, he stopped playing with his toys when he grew up, but he brings them out when other dogs come by. He's Mr.
Ah,
Social. He comes out, parades around with one of with like the rope toy or something, swings it around,
uh-huh.
tries to invite. That's when he really cares about the toys. He sees them as things to entertain with. So watching this whole social thing I see. I've never had pets before, so no. We've had
Really, Joe? You've never had
never,
pets?
never. They weren't allowed. Well, 'cause, we had so many kids. I mean, my gosh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I can
it
understand that.
was like it would have meant more vacuuming and more, so it
Oh
was
boy,
bad
does
enough.
it? Does it ever?
Yeah, I mean, as it is now, I mean, it's hard to keep up with, and it's only two or three people and two dogs. It's like it's communal living among friends is what the situation is. So that's why it works out really well because we all put in to the house to make it work, and so we end up with two dogs, not one. And the thing bugs you though, watching them both, I see how the social life develops and the kinds of social things that he does. It's really very interesting.
I want
But you
to
see, though, I think that dogs probably, so far as I know, they appear to be the ones that like us the best. Cats, I don't know if they're even number two on the list, but I
Oh,
think
I think if
cats
you're
are a little more. Cats are like, oh well, yeah, sure. What am I getting out of it? you know, but
well, I'm a cat lover too. I'm
well, I
and
like
and
them, but I can't be around them,
one of the things I
unfortunately.
about cats is there is
Yeah.
no one cat alike.
No, they're
They
all
all
different.
have different personalities. I wanted to do a fun test, okay?
Oh, all
It's the
right.
Native American test. Which totem animal are you? Are
Oh,
you ready?
sure.
Okay. So I'm waiting for it to build up. And I do want to say there are people in the room that we are going to get to soon. And so I want you to pay attention to this. What do you consider your best trait? Protectiveness, love for freedom, or strength?
Love for freedom.
If you could live in a nature place, where would it be? On a mountain with fresh air and clean, beautiful skies? In an open meadow with lush green grass close to nature? Or in a forest near a river and in the fall, the forest turns splendid colors of gold and orange?
I'd say the forest.
What is your favorite element? Earth, water, air, light, or darkness?
Air. I'm a Gemini. I'm an air sign. And
Okay.
actually, I love picture. I used to draw a lot of pictures of the sky and the clouds, and that's the sky and clouds are always an interest to me. So I'd say air.
What is your favorite time of year? Fall,
Spring.
spring,
Yeah.
winter, summer? You like spring.
Yeah.
What is your favorite mythical creature? A centaur, a dragon, or a hippogriff?
Centaur.
I love centaurs, they're so cool. Which of these choices best describes you? I need to go to school and get my degree, make a lot of money working from home. I would love to find a new game to play. I'd like to earn extra money by taking surveys online.
Um, I would have to say I have to find a new game to play. That
Oh,
would
really?
kind of
Okay,
suit my
little stinker,
attitude,
you.
even though I haven't, I've, you know, I have not been a child my life, and I have not treated my life like childhood. But that is how I feel inside. Is that what new game can we play?
Okay, okay. So I'm it wants me to answer all these questions, I believe, in order to give the answers. But anyway, you can go to our blog today on Achieve
Well, what does
Radio.
that make me anyway? Does it tell you, or no?
Well, I'm
There's too
trying to
many.
find out. I'm trying to find out. I should have been. Okay, let's go. So you wanted love of freedom.
Yeah,
You wanted in a forest.
yeah,
Your favorite element was air.
yeah,
Your favorite time of year was spring.
yeah,
Your favorite mythical creature was a centaur.
yeah.
and the and your choice would be um, excuse me,
Suspense.
finding a new game to play. Okay, wait a minute, just a minute. Drum roll, please. Um, Wait a minute, don't do that. It's taking me to
Uh-oh. Well, we don't want to spend too much time waiting for it.
no. So that anyway, you guys, you can go to this
I might be
and
the owl on there because it's an air thing.
find
I
out
don't
what
know.
kind of totem animal you are, and you will find it on the blog.
Yeah, I have a feeling I might be one of the birds on there
You might be.
of some
You
kind.
might be. Okay, so I think we need to get to some people in the room,
Okay.
and we'll go back to our discussion. We have Emily from Pennsylvania, so let's talk to Emily. Emily, how are you today, and what can Joseph read on for you?
Hi, Emily.
What was that? Emily?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
us? Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Joe's Pizza.
I
May I
wanted
take
to
your
know
order?
if. Thank you. I wanted to know if you could do a love reading. Just if
For
anything
Emily?
is up and coming. Yes.
Do you have a specific person you want us to look at?
A couple. So I think maybe just a general one would be better if there's anything up and coming.
Okay.
Joseph? We have only 18 minutes, so we can't make this real long.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, she meant that for me, actually, We can't make this long, Joe.
Because he talks a lot.
Well, I'm seeing at the present time, what we have here is we have the Fool, and he's turned upside down, which indicates that's the card's way. It could symbolize that you're somewhat childlike and maybe perhaps a little naive and very wishful, and but you have to be careful that you can't be too what do you call too fanciful in your wishes, because actually in reality people are not going to be perfect like that, so that's an indication that maybe you kind of have an unrealistic expectation, but what I am seeing is that in the future, in the near future, I do see that there's a man possibly coming in, and he's represented by the Knight of Wands, and he's also inverted. He's upside down. That means that he might tend to be a bit emotional, because sometimes when we flip the cards over, it's the same traits, but it's like with zodiac signs. We all have our dark parts, and so this might be somebody who's going through a time where these wonderful qualities are kind of stressed, so
I'd personally
but
call that the asshole.
well, yeah, and what I see here is a possible. He might be someone who's emotional and has a lack of discipline. So I don't really. This might be good for just getting out and someone to hang with for a while, but he is somebody who he's got to have some. He's going to have some baggage. So this is what this card tends to indicate when we're talking about possible lovers, is that this guy, you're going to notice it right away that there's an immaturity. And so this is a signal for you that, okay, pass this one up, because there's a lot of them out there. And yeah, you'll find somebody, but don't settle on this difficult emotional person, because it kind of isn't worth it. You might think it is, but you kind of don't need it. You need somebody a bit stronger and more mature to balance you out, because the childlike qualities that you have, you might not be aware of. I'd say like a certain youthfulness about you. And what's nice is that if you can balance this nice thing out with somebody who needs that particular quality in their life, and somebody that they know. Some people need to lighten up or need to be a little younger, and sometimes somebody else can bring that out in them. And so this would be somebody stronger, and he's coming in down the road, but I don't have a time frame on that one. But that's the one you want to pay attention to. The one with the wit charm and the one that acts like they're all, that seems like they're together. Because you'll see it right away with this first guy I'm mentioning. He's coming up really fast, though. He's somebody, he's like either here now, you kind of know him, or maybe you're about to meet him. And yeah,
Emily,
he's appealing. Yeah, he's probably
Emily,
cute and all. Yeah.
I
But
am
yeah,
going to
keep
start.
shop around. The cards are saying shop around. You'll find them. Sure.
Okay.
Emily, what I'm going to say is don't forget to take your bitch pill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I
am shown that you have the patience of Job. I am shown that you are somebody that can be very supportive. And that you are somebody that often tends to bring people that end up using those qualities to their favor. The problem is
exactly.
The problem is that when you are too patient, you forget the number one rule in all relationships. Train people how to treat you. Because I always say, we bring into our life who we are. And in the bad times of our life, or the stressed times of our life, or especially the lonely times of our life, we often bring people in that make us settle for less, which makes us not train them how to treat us because we're so grateful to not be lonely. So what your reading is saying is you have these amazing qualities. I'm showing you're a beautiful soul with a lot of inner child, like Joseph said. You're a great communicator. And it says, watch out for people that use those qualities. So when I say take your bitch pill, I'm saying as long as you are almost like a little angel, you have to worry about finding that you will bring in people that use those qualities to their favor, and so therefore don't be afraid to lay the law, not like a mean way, but just don't be afraid, because I'll tell you what happens. Oftentimes the people that come to women that are too nice end up going and getting married to the bitch. And so instead of letting that happen, all I'm saying is find a happy medium, but don't allow yourself to be suckered into something. And I'm sorry I'm taking so long. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not doing it.
Sorry.
I'm so grateful. I will take my bitch pill, and I'm very grateful to both of you guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks, Emily.
Actually, Emily and I have been guilty of the same things in our lives. Actually, yeah, I've been through that.
Let's go to an interesting one. It says, this is from Susan from Massachusetts, and she says, greetings, Anne-Marie and Joseph. I recently met two women on a similar spiritual path as me who own their own business. I'm looking to do something of my own. Do you see them helping me out professionally? The spotlight's on you. Bill put the full camera on you.
I feel like I'm at one of those, what do you call those? Can you imagine if you're at a ball game, you look up, you see your face real big like that? Oh, gee. Well, let's see. I do see here that the cards have revealed that you're like the emperor here. I mean, I'm seeing that you are. It tells us that you are a master of your domain, your emotions, and you're the type of person that has willpower and can make things happen. I see you. You are currently, and you want to like live in a position of responsibility because you're so responsible. That's how I'm seeing it here, and that's what the Emperor right side up tells us. What I see, I do see that up ahead, though, and this particular partnership is that I do see it's going to be there's going to be some personality issues and conflicts here. Even though everybody's really nice and everybody knows what they're doing, I am seeing that you have to watch for this. If you could get past some of these emotional things that if you're good about dealing with that, if you've dealt with that before, I'm seeing that these might be difficult people, that are not bad people, but they can be hormonal, and I don't see it. I don't see you guys partnering really easy. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying you're going to have to work to make that work. Okay.
I'm shown that you are somebody that reverberates with very professional qualities that like-minded people are attracted to with equal passion for their journey. I'm also shown that you must realize something that happens in the spiritual field as well as any other career in the world. Competitiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Competitiveness can create hormonal attitudes in men and women.
Oh, yeah.
Once they feel that they are being, they start out helping each other, but then the one that seems to be getting ahead, that has been helped, suddenly a little bit of personality conflicts can happen. So what I'm shown is that it's always, always good to make connections when you're in a business with other business-minded people. They can give you the information, they can give you the downs, the ups about what you should and can do to better yourself. But don't count on them to hold your hand.
Yeah, you're a competitor now. You would be a competitor once you start your business. So you see,
yep. So take the information and make the best of it, but now go on your own. Don't expect them to help you out. They give you advice. They just by knowing them, you will meet other like-minded people. But
yes.
Take the information and go on your own. Don't expect them to hold your hand because they're competitors now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The same thing happens with even in the entertainment world. I mean, when I was studying acting, I mean, there's no way that my friends would have told me about a part, man. That
oh no
way.
Not when they could have that part.
Even if I would have been better at it, there's no way.
No.
It's like, sorry, Joe, I love you, but I want this part.
Yep.
So.
That's human nature. Human nature. Okay, we have. Let me see. We have suddenly a lot of people in very little time.
My gosh.
And there's. I can't even make it go down. Well, oh, there we go.
Okay, maybe we can squeeze one in, huh?
We have Sarah from New Hampshire, and hello to you both. I am getting a little panicked. My funds are dwindling. I have about 3 weeks of rent left, and I can't find work. No work, no place to live. Is there anything coming my way for employment? Thank you very much. Yes or no, Joseph? We just only have 5 minutes.
Actually, the Ace of Swords is showing that this is an excellent time to look. Really, I mean, I would say I'm seeing it as near future, like say within the next starting within the next day or so, like this week, next week, probably Monday. You get out there, get the resumes out there, because I'm seeing intellectual projects available if you have that sort of ability, and I'm seeing that a breakthrough is possible. So. Even if a place doesn't even seem likely, I'd say go for it, because the Ace of Swords here shows that you have the ability to persevere in this situation, and I do see that you're gonna see one. You're gonna have an opportunity. So try to snag it. Yeah.
And I am going to agree with that because I'm shown at the end of this month that says a dream comes true for you. You find the kind of job that you're looking for with good money coming in. So whether I haven't read about whether you're still going to be able to keep your apartment, but I feel that there's plenty of new apartments ahead, and my sense is that you'll do just fine.
Yeah, this is a temporary setback, and actually any losses, that's going to be temporary. You know, you might get burned a little bit, but you're going to be able to pop up again.
Anita, we need to have a fast question from you, and thank you so much for holding on for us. What can we do for you?
Hey, Anita.
Anita? Hello, Anita.
Oh, why don't you give her a general reading? Just let's see
Okay, let's just look at Anita. Yeah, I'll just pull up real quick what comes up for me. And Anita, it says, time to be secure. Be as magnetic as you can and stay away from the people that doubt in you. Lift your head high, wear a fan on top with a little beanie and let a scarf and let it blow behind you and act like you don't give a crap about all the naysayers. That's what I have.
Well, that's what I got. I have it in the form of the Hermit, which shows that right now that you're like looking for answers to life's problems, and you might be in a quiet place right now, and like on retreat or kind of like self-imposed retreat because you've taken a break. But I do predict that you're going to be meeting with somebody that is going to inspire you in some way and is going to make some changes in your outlook. And that's what I see for Anita. Even though she didn't ask a question, that's what's coming.
That's what comes up.
You're in.
And we're sticking to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to say I had a couple of topics that I wanted to hit on the main one was witches and familiars. And
they could
familiar.
Be dogs too. Yeah.
Huh?
They can be any kind of animal.
Every time you're riding with your dogs in the car, or every time you're bonding with your animals, whether they're dog, horse, bird, or horse, cat, you are basically intuitively connecting with that animal, right?
I think so. I do believe it. I feel it. Yeah. Definitely.
If you want to learn more about witches and familiars, the link is on the blog. If you want to take the test about how to find your totem animal, the link is on the blog. So go to the blog and look at all kinds of fun things. And Joseph, do you want to end with a prayer today?
Sure. I bring the cosmic forces into my body, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. I bring the cosmic forces into my body, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. I bring the cosmic forces into my body, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. Protect me with your white light. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I like that. That's awesome. So, Joseph, where can people contact you? Yes, it does. Just kind of, it's like cleans your chakras.
Yes, it does.
What is the Facebook page that people can check you out?
It's Joseph the Lantern Bearer, and it's Paranormal Insights. And it's anything anybody wants to say and add on that. They're welcome to add things or have discussion or ask questions. Of course, now, if you want a reading, I'm on Keen, most of the time, sometimes. Lately, it's been sometimes, and because I've been really busy. But like I said, though, I do get mail from them, so I do know if somebody is trying to contact me. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made some kind of little chat award for having some of the longer chats. And when you have a long chat, you are given a day without having to pay bid.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah.
So it's worth it to have those chats. Chat readings, phone readings for Joseph at Keen. You can contact me at thecallingoflight.com or Keen as Sister Ophelia. Joseph, thank you, and you'll be back next week.
You're welcome. Yes, I will. Thank you for having me here.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.